Hi, host Eric here, host Talking with Famous People. I've got to read this excellent ENTP profile to you here. This is by, I believe his name is, I should have prepped this a little bit better. It's Simulatedworld. Simulated Worlds MBTI profile for extroverted types. Okay, so, and it's at the16types.info/bunch stuff. Okay, so ENTP. Although their positive qualities are often grossly exaggerated by popular type profiles, you'll see them described as unique, clever, and visionary. ENTPs are characterized primarily by their desire to create this kind of impression on most people who have written ENTP on others. Create this kind of impression on others. Whether or not it's actually true will vary greatly from individual to individual, but apparently it's worked well on most people who have written ENTP profiles. The other primary aspect of their cognitive approach is one that's common to all four EP types, an exploratory attitude that focuses predominantly on taking in the greatest quantity of new external information possible. Learning and expanding takes priority over all else, often at the expense of important practical concerns. On typology forums, ENTPs are often earn a well-deserved reputation as trolls, not because they want to hurt anyone in most cases, but more often because their desire to experiment with their external environments in order to generate novel and interesting results outweighs their often weak concern for the feelings of others. Like ESTPs, they rarely take issue with poking and prodding others for reactions, especially when they think people are being too uptight, but NE needs to focus more on putting people in unfamiliar situations in order to explore the patterns in their responses, as opposed to SEs focus on creating an immediate sensory spectacle. Needless to say, this tendency can result in some rather unfortunate social and interpersonal consequences, leading to the common difficulty that NP types often face in deciding between introversion and extroversion. The more they experiment on people and receive negative results, the more ENTPs will learn to be more cautious in their early interactions with new people. Because dominant NE can never really be sure if its peculiar brand of humor will entertain, upset, or simply confuse new people. NE dominance, and especially ENTPs, often develop less immediate social ability than other extroverted types. In many cases, it can be a difficult chore to differentiate between ENTPs and INTPs in this regard, hence the ENTP reputation for being the most introverted extrovert. Alright, so I didn't know I was going to read all of that, but it kept being interesting. So, great explanation. I think that's absolutely right on the money. I think that ENTPs are indeed primarily interested in creating that impression. However, the other thing it says there is also true, that we are constant and vigorous learners of things. So it would make sense that even if, and I've read this other thing elsewhere, that we're not really generating a bunch of original ideas. The ideas we're coming up with are out there somewhere, that we've come across them in our readings and just sort of amalgamated it into the big mush of stuff in our brains. Well, I mean, that's fine, but it would tend to suggest that the older the ENTP gets, the more they fulfill that vision of themselves that they're trying to project. I mean, if you're constantly learning stuff, then it's pretty hard not to get to a point where you are indistinguishable from those good traits in a meaningful way, right? I mean, to me, it doesn't even seem particularly meaningful to make the distinction between whether you've convinced others that you are those things and whether you are actually those things. It doesn't seem to be a meaningful distinction to me, because those things are descriptors of perceptions of others. They're not descriptors of actual qualities that one possesses that can be measured in any meaningful sense, right? So, I said this in an earlier video in Chapter 1. Welcome to Chapter 2, by the way. This is my Chapter 2 beginning. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do. I have a couple of big things planned, blah, 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 blah. And I settled in on this little 5-minute chunk format for a while here. I don't know how long it's going to last. Who knows where it's going to go? Not me. Anyhow, I really enjoyed that little description there. I think it's right on the money. I think, it's better to just sort of fess up that that's what's going on in general, because it's true. I remember being obsessed with projecting that when I was younger. I think, but you grow into it such that the thing you're projecting becomes true one way or the other. So, all right, have a good day. Bye.